Okay, well, it's still May the 9th, 2022. It's a little after 2 o'clock now. I'm going to give a call here to this thing here, this male monster, Daniel Carroll from Kamloops here, who began a title and application fraud to steal my in-trust private property, which you can't steal for a couple of different legal reasons, and then, of course, there's all the lawful reasons. And so Daniel Carroll here is an indictable crime-committing criminal. It's actually guilty of genocide as well as blasphemy. And so the King of Kings has taken a look at these matters because these matters have proven far, far too complicated and difficult for the male and female humans legally defined as monsters here in British Columbia who are trying to pose as BC Attorney Generals. You see, because they're all on the same team. You get that, don't you? So it's a conflict of interest for a BC Attorney General to investigate any bar member, because they're all bar members. Yeah, so it's a brotherhood of corruption and fucking ugly. And injustice. And then, of course, you've got these male and female humans, legally defined as monsters, trying to pass themselves off as honorable justices in BC here. Nope, I have never once spoken to a righteous man or woman when I've gone into these private for-profit criminal organization corporations that are trying to pass themselves off as public services law courts. They don't serve the public, the law courts here in Canada. These law courts here are wholly and completely corrupt. They're wholly and completely run by murderers, thieves, and destroyers. You're not called to the bar unless you've proven yourself to be a child of the devil, a murderer, thief, and destroyer, and a compulsive liar. Then and only then will you be called to the bar. Isn't that right, Daniel Carroll? So let's call Daniel Carroll here and leave a message for Daniel, because most of the time Daniel doesn't like to pick up its phone. I need to inform Daniel Carroll that the King of Kings has issued, a judgment, and it's a foreign judgment of which you cannot appeal, and you cannot argue. And since Daniel Carroll has proven itself wholly and completely ignorant and incompetent by hiring Chelsea Mack of the same criminal corporation to speak for itself during a hearing of which I was in full right and full authority because I had the truth on my side. So Daniel Carroll is an officer of the court. So Daniel Carroll actually has a duty, responsibility, and obligation to call the Kamloops RCMP and turn itself in, along with all of the proof and evidence of title and application fraud to steal my in-trust private property. So his banker buddies could place fraudulent mortgages, not once but twice, on my property, which can never be stolen from me. You see, my spouse and I were tenants in common. I don't have any agreement with the bank that my spouse had, so therefore I'm not responsible for his loans or debts. So our property is creditor judgment proof on that reason and that legal reason alone. And then, of course, there's the other legal reason why you can't come steal my in-trust private property, because once my spouse passed away, he owns nothing. No, I, as the executrix and the trustee of the estate, own all of the property. And again, contract law 101, unless I've guaranteed the personal line of credit that my spouse had with CIBC, I am not responsible for that debt, alleged debt. So once again, you cannot come and steal my property. And yet, what happened? Not only did they steal my property, they lied their faces off and then embezzled every dollar in order to attempt to murder me yet again. You see, the reason for embezzling all the money from a fraudulent foreclosure is so I can't move anything forward and I can't fight for justice. Isn't that right? Daniel Carroll, and David Abe, and John Hargon, and Johnny Van Camp, and Robert Punnett, and Carolyn Book, all of whom have proven beyond a reasonable doubt to be children of the devil, to be compulsive liars, to be indictable crime-committing criminals who hate a living woman who speaks the truth and corrupts these satanic savages wherever and whenever they're committing a crime against myself and my family. Right, so I've given clear and concise instructions and directions because I am in authority. I am King's counsel. I am counsel. I am counsel. And I will be respected as counsel at all material times. Do you understand that? Let's give Daniel Carroll a call. You see what happens when these fucking satanic snakes get confronted? The satanic snake has to take a holiday. So Daniel was off until May the 2nd, trying to fucking figure out how to fucking hide all the assets, which don't belong to him anyway. Let's call here.
Reach Dan Carroll at Fulton. Sorry, Mr. Cole. Please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, stay on the line. You'll be transferred to reception, and you can have to speak with one of my assistants, Suzanne or Crystal. Thanks.
Please leave a message after the tone. When you have finished, please hang up or press the pound key for more options. To be transferred, press 0.
Afternoon, Daniel Carroll. This is Victoria Nevins calling you, your victim. Took a holiday, did you? Well, Daniel, there's some really serious issues that need to be addressed and spoken of. I'm in full and complete authority as counsel. I am counsel. I have introduced myself and identified myself as counsel to you repeatedly. I've investigated this entire matter. This is a case of application and title fraud. Right, run by CIBC and yourself and all the rest of your partners in crime to facilitate money laundering through BC's wholly and completely corrupt real estate industry. Right. So, Daniel, as an officer of the court, you have a duty and responsibility to turn yourself in. You have to call the BC RCMP, Daniel, and turn yourself in. Now, I have provided consistently and repeatedly all the sections of the Criminal Code of Canada that you are guilty of violating. Now, these are not allegations. You've already committed the crime, Daniel. Right? So you're not going to argue or deny what you've done because you've already done it. All right? And now the Cullen Inquiry, the Cullen Commission has to do a full forensic audit of this serious money laundering matter that now I'm involved in because you wouldn't stop. You wouldn't stop compulsive lying. You wouldn't stop your perjury. You wouldn't stop your murder, your theft, or destruction, Daniel. And now, Daniel, you are going to reap what you've sown. That's the way life works, Daniel Carroll. I don't give a fuck who you think you are or what you think you are or what kind of liars you have behind you, Daniel. You are a criminal. And you're now a disbarred criminal, Daniel. The King of Kings has ordered you to be disbarred. That is not a decision you can appeal, Daniel. That is not a decision you can get out of. The BC Law Society members are completely and wholly not only ignorant, but they're incapable. They're absolutely incapable. Right? Because you're all on the same team. You're all protecting each other. And now you're finished. And I've been prophesying over your life for years, Daniel. I also prophesied that this was a case of money laundering years ago, Daniel, because I'm exactly who I tell you I am. You see, the King of Kings is sick and tired of you rats, so he set up a rat trap for you, and you little fucking savages fell into the rat trap. And that includes all the fucking idiots, all the male and female humans legally defined as monsters in your office who aided and abetted this act of genocide against me. So here's what's going to happen, Daniel. CIBC, Harmon Magnet at CIBC has to pay back the $80,000 they stole from the inheritance, right? The $680,000 has to be fully and completely in the possession of the BC Finance Minister because agents from Scotiabank are going to pay out the fraudulent mortgage of Sandra, Dennis, and Benjamin Howe of Victoria, BC. So their mortgage is null and void. It always has been, and it always will be, Daniel. I need to take possession back of my stolen property, Daniel, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And now you're informed of what's going to be happening. And you're also informed that you're disbarred. And that is effective immediately, Daniel. You're finished. And I need a call from the BC RCMP that you have called them and turned yourself in, Daniel. You need to turn yourself in, Daniel. You're an officer of the court. You're a perjury-committing murderer, Daniel. And you will now reap what you sow. You can call me back at 250-661-0610 because I'm not going to go away, and I'm going to be doing to you what you did to me and my family. Because that's called law and justice, Daniel. Well, isn't that fun to call up these fucking satanic savages and leave messages for them? Right? Like, who do these fucking animals think that they actually are? Because you realize that a human is nothing more than an ape. And when you check the blood of all these fucking satanic savages who are stealing homes twice a week in Canada from widows with no mortgage on their houses to facilitate money laundering through the wholly and completely corrupt real estate industries across Canada. Like, come on now. Come on. As a society, how sick have you become that you're not standing up and standing up for the innocent and the oppressed? Because if you're not standing up for the innocent oppressed, then you've chosen the side of the oppressor, and you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. Isn't that right?